butternut squash. It's got great kind of sweet and nutty flavors, perfect for all sorts of different applications. So today on Cooking with Parker, I'm going to show you how to make a nice, simple, delicious butternut squash soup. Give you a couple little tips and tricks, things I've picked up, and can't wait to show you this. So let's go. So I'm just going to show you my process, kind of talk through what I'm doing. So I'm just cutting the top off, and then I'm going to split this in half. So you want to use a nice sharp knife for this. Make sure you stabilize it a little bit. And once you got that, I'm going to always line my pans with tinfoil. This makes cleanup just a little bit easier. Then I got some canola oil. You can use any sort of neutral oil you want. Don't want something super strong like olive oil. Just going to rub that over the whole squash. Just kind of, it'll help cook it more evenly, give it a nice kind of shine to it. And then we're going to sprinkle just with a little bit of kosher salt. Once it's nicely seasoned, I'm going to flip it over so its skin is tied up so the flesh doesn't get too caramelized. And also leaving the seeds in there. They're easier to pull out afterwards. That's how I do it. And then I got a sweet potato, so this is going to give a little more well-balanced flavor. Got some nice sweetness. And then kind of my last trick is we're going to do some roasted garlic. So just using the oil that kind of dripped off the pan, hit that with a little bit of salt, and then we'll wrap this up in foil. This is a really simple, easy way to get some nice rich flavors by roasting the garlic along with our butternut squash and sweet potato. Just throw that all in the oven at about 350. Let that cook for 1:15, 1:30 or so till everything's nice cooked all the way through. It's nice, super soft. Just using a fork to test it, puncture it. The skin's a little tough, but it goes nicely, easily through. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the skin. So you can wait for it to cool down. Probably takes about 30 minutes or so. But I've got what some might consider chef hands. So I've been working in the industry for a few years now. My hands are a little more heat resistant, but still being careful, using a knife, kind of peel it away. Don't have my hands too long in contact with this super hot, steaming butternut squash. I'm going to do the same thing and remove the skin from the sweet potato. So you could either just make, a plain butternut squash soup or a plain sweet potato soup, but I really like doing the medley of the two. You get nice kind of earthiness and nuttiness from the butternut squash and kind of sweetness and more well-rounded notes from the sweet potato. So once I got these peeled, I'm going to let it cool off for a few more minutes so I can handle it with my bare hands a little more easily. Go ahead and remove the seeds. As I said, it's easier to do once it's cooked. They just kind of peel off easily. You don't have to scrape it with a spoon like you do when it's raw. Just breaking up the sweet potato and the butternut squash so I can add them to my blender. And then once I got that, I'm going to pour in 1 cup of chicken stock. If you want to make this vegetarian, it's pretty easy to do. You can use a veg stock or just water. But the chicken stock gets a little more robust flavor. Then it's going to turn this on at low speed for a little bit. Turn it up to high speed. Just blend this till it's nice, super smooth. So my Ninja blender has kind of this IQ technology. It says it stops blending when it's properly consistency. I don't know quite about that, but it takes 2 or 3 minutes, pretty quick. And then this roasted garlic that I'm squeezing out really is going to give it a nice kind of rich, great flavor. And then I'm going to pour in about 1 tablespoon of honey. Don't need to measure that out. It always sticks to the tablespoon anyways. I'm going to pour a tablespoon of molasses in there. You can use brown sugar, but the molasses is not going to add extra sweetness, and it's got really nice rich flavor. And then I'm doing about a teaspoon of rubbed sage, so using the lid to measure that. It's a nice kind of herbal, earthy flavor as well. I'm grabbing a knob of ginger, so just going to use a spoon, kind of scrape off the skin. And there's a tough part, so use my paring knife to remove that. Just want a kind of inch knob of ginger. It's got a really strong flavor. So just drop that all in there, and then we're going to blend it up again until the ginger's all broken down and everything's emulsified. And last, we're going to pour in 1 cup of heavy cream. So this is really going to make it nice and creamy. Can't go wrong with heavy cream. It's got great flavor. I'm going to pour this in a nice heavy bottom pot so we can heat this up slowly and easily. It's the exact consistency I'm looking for. So the butternut squash, sweet potato, when they're nice and roasted, got a lot of water that leaks out. But you got to add that chicken stock or water to kind of loosen it up a little bit. And then the heavy cream gives it a nice kind of final creamy texture as well. So just kind of scraping this off, make sure I get all the good squash out of my blender. Don't want to leave any of that goodness behind. All right, go ahead and try our soup. That's good. It's going to be a little more vibrant when I heat it up, but it's got all those great flavors, the molasses, ginger, sage coming through, the richness of the butternut squash by itself, that sweetness from the sweet potato. And heat this up, boil it up, do some sort of garnish for it, and we're going to have a great butternut squash soup. Now heat this up on kind of medium low heat. You don't want it so hot you're going to scorch the bottom. You got to be a little patient for this time, and just cook it till it starts bubbling on the edges. Stir it so it's heated all the way throughout. Once it's all nice, kind of steaming throughout, I'm gonna serve myself a bowl of the soup. One thing I've learned with cooking, and especially with soups, is you want contrasting flavors, textures, and colors. So top it with some roasted pumpkin seeds, some dried sage leaves. These are pretty pungent but really nice. And then a little fresh drizzle of honey, just kind of one more element to kind of set it up. Let's go ahead and try this soup now that it's warm, has all its garnishes. Soup's a winner right there. It's super creamy and rich. You know, the butternut squash, just roasting it, pureeing it, that sweet potato for kind of that balance and extra sweetness. All the different spices, the ginger, molasses, everything like that. Really can't go wrong with this soup. So hopefully make it at home, give it a try. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you next time.